It might surprise you to hear this, but if you're reading this right now, it's not by chance. You've noticed an unusual synchronicity, something so striking it can't simply be brushed off as coincidence. This sign is clear evidence that you're on the brink of life-changing moments. By watching for at least 12 minutes, you affirm that you're ready to embrace and activate the full potential of this message. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 77 to signal your openness to the universe. Then follow up with another comment in your own words. Ready for what's next? This simple act welcomes immediate, tangible benefits and invites a new phase of transformation into your life. Chapter 1. Recognizing Repeated Patterns. One morning you woke up with an unshakable feeling. Something was different. Certain numbers kept appearing wherever you looked, or a rare symbol showed up repeatedly in unexpected places. At first you dismissed it as a trick of the mind, a mere coincidence, but soon it became impossible to ignore. Perhaps you found yourself checking the clock precisely at 11:11 each day, or the same unusual phrase echoed from different people within hours. It started to feel like an unseen force was guiding you, revealing a hidden script playing out in real time. Those around you, family, co-workers, even close friends, laughed it off, insisting it was just your imagination. But deep down, you sensed there was more to it. That inner voice urging you to pay attention grew stronger with each repeated sign. You tried to dismiss it, thinking maybe you were just overly focused on patterns. Yet no matter how much you ignored it, the signs only became more obvious, so undeniable that you could no longer chalk them up to coincidence. This inner tension, the contrast between your instincts telling you something profound was unfolding and others waving it away, left you feeling conflicted. You questioned whether you were overanalyzing or if, perhaps, you were truly being called towards something greater. Then came a moment when you decided to let go of the debate and accept that your experiences might be real. That acceptance changed everything. Suddenly you felt connected, as though an invisible tapestry was weaving around you, linking events, people, and random encounters into a pattern you'd never noticed before. A sense of calm replaced your anxiety. You realized you weren't crazy. You were awakened, stepping into a reality few dare to acknowledge. This shift also rattled your old assumptions. If reality responds to certain energies or signals from you, then your life path can't be mere luck or accident. You're an active participant in a dance between your soul and a universe eager to confirm your highest potential. Yes, the Matrix scorns synchronicities, calling them trivial illusions, but your heart sees deeper, trusting that any repeated sign or pattern is a language beyond words, a vocabulary of the spirit. And once you engage that language, instead of suppressing it, the universe leans in closer, intensifying the signs and aligning them with your long-buried desires for purpose or abundance. Over time, you notice how each new synchronicity amplifies your confidence, reaffirming the idea that you are indeed chosen for a special track, one that breaks from the mundane cycles of scramble and disappointment. These patterns keep drawing you forward, promising that if you keep following their trail, you'll unlock gains you once believed impossible. And that's precisely why you can't shake the feeling that your life is about to pivot. You see, these signs aren't random. Ignoring them now seems unthinkable. You know with bone-deep certainty that you're poised on the brink of a major breakthrough, and no sneering voices can dissuade you. Because once the universe calls you out with repeated synchronicities, it's no longer a question of if you'll transform, but when. Chapter 2. You transcend doubt by owning your inner knowing. Your path to fully trusting these synchronicities wasn't smooth. You started off hesitant, unsure whether to follow these bizarre patterns or scold yourself for magical thinking. The tension mounted whenever someone rolled their eyes at the mention of repeated numbers or bizarre coincidences. You felt the sting of ridicule, yet each time you tried to move on and dismiss your experiences, the signals got louder, the coincidences more impossible to ignore. It was like a cosmic spotlight was on you, highlighting you as a chosen one in a sea of cynics. At first you questioned your sanity. Maybe you were just connecting dots that didn't exist. But then tangible confirmations appeared, stacking up faster than your doubts could shoot them down. You found yourself guided to resources or conversations that mirrored your hidden thoughts. Sometimes you barely voiced a question internally, only to see an article or social media post addressing it within hours. Yes, it felt weird. You felt singled out, but you also felt recognized by a universe that apparently had you on speed dial. This tension between fear of social judgment and your unwavering curiosity pushed you to a deeper surrender. You came to a point where you realized you'd rather risk appearing foolish than ignore the signs that pulse like neon lights in your daily life. So you began discreetly testing the synchronicities, writing them down, reflecting on them, even praying or meditating for clarity. Each new test validated your experiences more. That validation chipped away at your default skepticism until you found yourself, ironically, more skeptical of the doubters than of the signs themselves. Once you owned your inner knowing, an unexpected peace settled in. Anxiety about the future began to wane, replaced by the sense that you were traveling a road specifically paved for you. The universe's repeated signals felt like rails, ensuring you never fell too far off the path. Even your worst days turned into lessons in progress. You no longer asked, "Why me?" but rather, "What lesson or upgrade am I receiving now?" That shift from victim to co-creator marked a profound turning point in your self-concept. Your circle might have shrunk as you let your intuitive voice lead. Certain friends unsubscribed from your journey, uneasy with the growing presence of what they labeled as woo-woo. You shed tears over lost companionship, but simultaneously welcomed the clarity. Freed from those who dismissed your path, you could dig deeper. Supportive allies materialized. Some of them had gone through similar awakenings. Bonded by parallel experiences, you found a sense of tribe that transcended superficial relationships. Thus, transcending doubt wasn't about forcing others to agree with your signs. It was about rewriting your relationship with your own intuition. By taking these synchronicities seriously, you discovered an inner compass that never misled you. Even on occasions when you expected to fail, your faith in the bigger picture steered you safely. That unwavering faith became the bedrock on which you'll stand as you move toward massive gains. Because once you declare to the universe, "I trust your messages more than society's scoffs," the universe verifies it by magnifying your breakthroughs beyond what you dare to dream. Chapter 3. You expose the matrix by reading between its lines. Once you accepted your synchronicities, you started noticing how the matrix struggles to keep people in a loop of doubt. Advertisements, news headlines, and even casual conversations often drill the notion that life is random, that you must hustle aimlessly for crumbs. By stepping out of that script, you expose the system's reliance on fear and cynicism. Your new perspective revealed that the matrix invests in illusions like separation, scarcity, or the idea that synchronicities are mere coincidences. Observing it from the outside, you marveled at how easily you once participated in that charade. Suddenly, you spotted lines of code in everyday interactions, like how an entire crowd might dismiss a major sign, or how cycles of negativity perpetuate themselves until a single spark of faith disrupts them. People operate under the matrix illusions, rarely questioning the coincidence that their biggest wins happened when they momentarily believed in something bigger. You recognized it wasn't truly a coincidence. Faith short-circuits the matrix, letting unstoppable blessings slip in. This realization didn't morph you into a cynical rebel. On the contrary, it fueled compassion. You saw how many souls remained stuck, ignoring or downplaying the synchronicities screaming at them. You empathized with those who clung to conventional logic, terrified that acknowledging a grand design might upend their worldview. But you also knew you couldn't free them by force. Your best bet was to keep forging ahead, letting your life stand as evidence that the Matrix's illusions don't hold up under unwavering belief in the cosmic. Alignment simultaneously, you recognize pockets of advanced awareness in unexpected places. Maybe a colleague who once mocked your positivity quietly confided that they had begun noticing their own repeated angel numbers. Or a family member who always seemed too pragmatic confessed they had a dream predicting an event days before it happened. The deeper you looked, the more you saw cracks in the Matrix's facade. Many people sense these cracks but hush themselves for fear of ridicule. Your example could change that, encouraging them to venture past the threshold of fear. Hence, reading between the lines of the matrix doesn't isolate you from society. It transforms how you engage with it. You no longer see daily news or negativity as absolute. You interpret them as attempts to anchor you in doubt. But you hold a vantage point that no broadcast can overshadow. This vantage fosters resilience in crisis. Where others scramble, you see potential for evolution. Where they see chaos, you sense cosmic reordering. That grounded calm not only preserves your spirit, but also fosters leadership qualities the matrix cannot replicate. By exposing the matrix as an illusion, you free your mind to embrace each synchronicity as a personal directive from God. No longer do you chalk up breakthroughs to chance. You respond with a grateful, "I see you, universe," and proceed with boldness. The world might call that naive, but your results, miraculous turns in finance, relationships, or creative endeavors, speak otherwise. Each result further dismantles the matrix's hold on you, setting the stage for the massive gains your synchronicities have forecasted all along. Chapter 4. You saw how negativity catalyzed your growth. On the verge of massive gains, you might recall how negativity once clung to your every move. Critics, self-doubt, or outright sabotage. In the thick of it, you believed these forces were lethal roadblocks. But with your synchronicities guiding you, you realized something extraordinary. Negativity became a catalyst for your evolution. Every doubter or hostile event forced you to refine your sense of purpose, to articulate your truth with more conviction. In a paradoxical twist, each negative jab advanced you another step forward, letting you hone the clarity needed to fulfill your cosmic assignment. It's as if your spirit converted negativity into fuel. When someone belittled your ambitions, you found renewed determination to prove them wrong. When personal failures shook your faith, the synchronistic signs flared brighter, reminding you that a bigger plan was in play. You started seeing negativity not as an obstacle, but as friction that sharpened your edges. The matrix, ironically, contributed to your readiness for massive blessings by sending you adversity that tested and strengthened your resolve. This realization dissolved your victim mentality. You no longer saw yourself as passively buffeted by life's storms. Instead, you recognized your ability to transmute setbacks into stepping stones. This newfound mastery led you to approach challenges without the dread you once carried. If a conflict at work erupted, you asked, "How can I leverage this tension to refine my strategy?" If finances dipped unexpectedly, you scanned for the hidden opportunity in that space of lack. This approach baffled those around you who thrived on complaining. They couldn't grasp how each crisis left you more resolute, more assured of your path. At times it felt lonely. People stuck in negative loops found your positivity irritating, even accusing you of ignoring real problems. But ignoring them was never your strategy. You simply refused to wallow in them. You faced them head-on, gleaning whatever lesson or energy could be recycled into progress. Observers either learned from your resilience or drifted away in confusion. Either outcome freed you to maintain forward motion, unencumbered by external gloom. Over time, you realized negativity had gifted you an unshakable trait, the capacity to flourish where others fold. That capacity is precisely what your upcoming gains require. The universe can't pour large-scale blessings into a vessel that cracks under pressure. By using negativity as a forge, you became a vessel that can handle bigger responsibilities, grander visions. This sets you apart from those who want success minus the trials. Your journey ensures you're prepared to steward abundance without letting it corrupt or paralyze you. So now when you sense tension or gloom looming on the horizon, you don't panic. You treat it like a wave. You know how to surf, having grown adept at channeling its force into forward motion. That doesn't mean you invite drama. That doesn't mean you invite drama. It means you're not intimidated by it. You see adversity as a sign you're leveling up, that the universe is refining your final edges before unveiling the next leap. Indeed, each new wave of negativity only confirms you're near another threshold, inching closer to the massive gains your synchronicities prophesied from the start. Chapter 5. You set boundaries to preserve your incoming harvest. As the signs intensify, you realize success is close, but a crucial step remains: boundary setting. You can't let every person or agenda waltz into your space when you're on the brink of breakthroughs. While your heart leans toward generosity, your mind knows you must protect the harvest. After all, seeds can't flourish without a fence to deter predators. So you begin reevaluating who has access to your time, your emotional energy, and your resources. This isn't selfish. It's essential for ensuring the universe's blessings don't get drained by negative or opportunistic forces. Start by identifying subtle energy leaks. Perhaps it's a friend who calls daily to vent about trivial drama, leaving you depleted, or a coworker who constantly offloads tasks onto you while taking credit for the results, or a family member who pretends to support you but undercuts your confidence at every turn. Before you tolerated it, thinking kindness meant absorbing their chaos. But now your synchronicities warn you. Letting these leaks persist will undermine the massive gains on the horizon. Setting boundaries doesn't always require confrontation. Sometimes it's a quiet change, answering fewer calls, politely declining certain favors, or carving out daily time for your pursuits instead of everyone else's emergencies. The Matrix tries to guilt you, claiming that chosen ones must always be available. But that narrative just keeps you drained. Real spiritual maturity recognizes that unwavering availability can sabotage your growth, leaving you empty when God's calling arises. By learning to say no or not now, you preserve the energy that's fueling your leaps. Of course, some individuals will push back. They'll call you selfish or unrecognizable. Resist the urge to justify. They thrived on your open channels, feeding off your empathy or skill set without reciprocating. Your new stance threatens their comfort zone. Remember, if your next chapter demands you show up at 100%, you can't afford to distribute your energy in fragments to those who won't honor it. You remain caring but not gullible. Those who respect your boundaries find ways to adapt. Those who refuse reveal they cared more about exploiting you than genuinely supporting you. This boundary setting also accelerates your alignment with the synchronicities. Each time you affirm a healthy no, your spiritual clarity sharpens. You find that new doors open more easily, as though the universe says, finally, you're safeguarding the blessings I'm sending. Freed from excessive obligations or manipulative demands, your creativity surges, your problem-solving quickens, and your faith in your destiny swells. In short, you embody the readiness your cosmic contract insists upon. Hence, boundary setting isn't a peripheral step. It's central to securing your massive gains. Without it, you risk letting the harvest be devoured by those who can't appreciate or honor it. By holding firm, you not only shield your blessings, but also demonstrate a self-respect that resonates powerfully with your unseen supporters, be they angels, ancestors, or simply universal energies attuned to your spiritual evolution. The Matrix might label it selfish, but in truth, it's a necessary measure for fulfilling the grand vision your synchronicities keep illuminating. Chapter 6. You reframe struggle as a precursor to breakthrough. Even with solid boundaries and abundant signs, life isn't one endless parade of bliss. You still confront struggles, perhaps a financial snag or a conflict with someone close. But now, instead of spiraling into despair, you switch into problem-solving mode, confident that each challenge has historically paved the way for an upgrade. While the Matrix frames adversity as punishment, you see it as a cosmic test affirming your readiness for oncoming gains. Recall your own history. Some of your biggest leaps happened right after chaos. A lost job led to a more lucrative position that aligned better with your gifts. A sudden expense prompted you to hustle, unveiling a side venture that thrived. Each meltdown signaled a rebirth, provided you stayed flexible and open. Embracing this mindset, you welcome fresh struggles as catalysts for fortune. Rather than cursing your luck, you recognize a test. Will I trust or will I fold? Trust doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means facing challenges calmly, assured that there's a solution. Sometimes that solution arrives through a random conversation, a symbolic dream, or an unexpected opportunity at the perfect moment. Each instance reconfirms that panicking is futile when you have a deeper spiritual vantage revealing hidden order. This approach recalibrates your emotional responses. Frustration may flicker, but it dissolves quickly as you seek the lesson within each obstacle. Observers might envy your poise, some even misunderstand it, yet you understand that your perspective frees you from the cycle of anxious meltdowns. As you deepen this outlook, your stress diminishes, replaced by creative focus. The universe responds to your balanced mindset by orchestrating timely resources, people, and insights. Reframing struggle also accelerates manifestation. Rather than wasting energy on complaints or fear, you invest in trust and decisive action. What looks like luck to outsiders is your steady alignment, drawing blessings faster than logic predicts. Ultimately, adversity no longer looms over your hope. Each challenge you overcome propels you closer to the pinnacle that your synchronicities have been foreshadowing all along. This looping pattern, struggles sparking expansion, feels almost addictive in its positivity. Every hurdle surmounted reaffirms that you can tackle the next, no matter how daunting. That unshakable faith becomes the final ingredient needed to usher in the massive gains your repeated signs have promised. Chapter 7. You activate the promise and enter a new realm of gains. Now you stand at the cusp. Puzzle pieces align. Synchronicities that once baffled you become tangible breakthroughs. Your carefully enforced boundaries guard your renewed energy. The Matrix's illusions no longer snare your mind. Negativity morphs into stepping stones. It's not guesswork anymore. You know you're on the path of major lasting gains. The universe, which once whispered through soul signs, now practically shouts, "It's time!" How do you finalize this leap? Through conscious activation, declaring, "I am ready," writing a short statement in a journal, praying with deep gratitude, meditating until resonance fills your being. Such an act signals heaven and earth that you're not just curious, you're all in. The matrix feeds on half-hearted conviction, but your wholehearted stance shatters its grip. You also remain vigilant against complacency. Even after unlocking large-scale success, the journey continues. Keep your daily routines, spiritual, emotional, practical, so gains become a stable platform rather than a fleeting high. If sudden fame or old acquaintances reappear to capitalize on your momentum, you'll check with your inner compass, avoiding opportunistic traps or energy drains. As your gains materialize, you realize they're not solely about money or external status. They manifest as deeper emotional peace, clear purpose, relationships that spark creativity. While the matrix measures success solely by material standards, you operate from a higher perspective, recognizing the harmony between spiritual, emotional, and practical realms. This harmony becomes your new foundation, an integrated life that reflects your divine lineage. Some who once doubted you now seek your wisdom or support. You respond with discernment, remembering how they once dismissed you. Yet you hold no resentment, understanding that everyone awakens in their own time. If your journey can inspire someone else's breakthrough, you welcome that connection with compassion. In the end, you embrace this transformation without guilt. These elevated circumstances were never random. They are the universe's reward for your faith, resilience, and unwavering commitment to your values. You have seen through illusions, endured emotional trials, and remained true to your purpose. Evidence surrounds you. Spiritual alignment brings real, tangible expansion. When greater challenges arise, you recall how every past obstacle has only propelled you forward. And so, you step into a new reality. The question, "Is this real?" shifts to "It's happening." The connection between your soul and a universe eager to affirm your readiness radiates throughout your life. By meeting this moment with gratitude and resolve, you ensure these blessings remain firmly in place. Your life stands as undeniable proof. Follow the signs, see beyond illusions, protect your energy, and unstoppable progress becomes your new reality.